Greetings all, Frog here. It's time for the Friday update from the pond for the 27th of May, 2016. As you can see, I did not quite do as well this week. Definitely not as well as I did this week as I did last week. But that's because I actually had plenty of time to record the rest of these videos today, and then I just kind of got online and started to talk to some friends I hadn't talked to in a while, and I said, you know what, this is valid too. And I chose to spend my time doing that because, frankly, an unhappy frog is not a productive frog. And honestly, I've seen that recently, and it's sort of amazing that I've been able to keep up with this schedule as it has. But we'll get into all that as we go along. I'm going to try and keep this one a little shorter than last week. You know, a half hour is not the typical time I'm looking for this, but, you know, it's weird stuff's going on in life. So let's talk this week real quick, GeoGuessr. Weird bug going on. I haven't tried to play it since I recorded on Wednesday, I think is when I finished recording everything that I have until now. And it might have actually been Tuesday. It might have been 2 days since I played GeoGuessr. I'm not sure. But there was actual Street View showing up, so the road names and everything were in my game. It was very strange. And talking with Sagittarius, apparently that happens, and it just glitches. So I've since actually upgraded some software, so it forced a restart. So I'm hoping that maybe the system restart is enough to get that going. But anyway, it's been going well. Played Statelands on Tuesday, of course. Tomorrow it will be the new Eurovista challenge, which I have to record. Obviously, haven't done that. And I have to do it actually Friday because that's when I want to post the new video, or the new subreddit in GeoGuessr, the new thread. I wish to put that live on Saturday, so that's that. But GeoGuessr will continue to do what it is. We actually have next week's submissions already done. I don't know, by the way, why I didn't have any in my inbox when I went to record last week's, because I know now, since because Nio did a hit and run on a comment that because he commented and said, hey, I had sent one in, like, probably at almost the exact same time that I was responding to him saying, hey, thanks for your submission. So somewhere along the way, the YouTube inbox got delayed for me, and I just didn't see it. So now I've had them, and obviously this week has gone fine, and I'm all good through next week, I think. I think that's set. Yeah. Yeah, and we're going into the week after, and new Oscar is coming up. Don't worry. See, I told you, I've scheduled you. If you're not my friend. Boom. So we have plenty of content, but please send it in, right? I don't mind a little backlog, and sometimes on a Wednesday when I normally do the 3-minute world challenge, or on a Thursday rather, I'd rather do a user challenge. Like, if I get to the point where I have more of those and less of my world 3-minute challenges, I'm okay with that too. You know, we'll figure it out. We'll get it working. We'll set it in. And then Statelands Tuesday, Eurovista on Saturday, and I think that's a nice balance. I'm happy with that, and we're going to keep doing that for a while. You will see in the Potpourri hour, I did not start a new Factorio series, so I'm sorry if you really like Factorio. There will be more series, do not fear, but I couldn't decide what I wanted to play. I just couldn't do it. I was thinking about it. I'm like, well, I could do Bob's Mods with Nero, which seems kind of cool, but I don't really want to do 2 Nero campaigns at the same time, and I'm kind of sick of Bob's Mods right now. I kind of want to try something new, so we're looking at other mod packs, and I was just kind of running out of time. And as I was going through the list of installed games that I have, I was like, what else could I play, and blah, blah, blah. So, like, if I go click over here now, like, installed on this system, I've got Isaac, of course, Prison Architect, City Skylines, Istralid, which is interesting. It's a free-to-play game. I'm not sure if I like it yet or not. I've got to play it a little bit more to really give a proper review on it, so I'm not going to talk much about it, but it's interesting, I'll tell you that much. Stellaris, of course, Factorio, EU4, Kingdom is still installed. I've got the Tabletop Simulator because I still want to do a board game night at some point. Prop Hour 23, which is a very interesting game, very esoteric. I will probably play it at some point. This is the main theme. It is the main theme. I will probably play this at some point, not for Prop Hour, by the way, for EU4, that I will probably do some video on Prop Hour. I don't know if I'm going to do a series on it, but at least play a couple of games, because it's really cool. It's been out for a while, but check it out if you like sort of esoteric. It's kind of like esoteric base defense. It's very strange. CK2, of course, Don't Starve is installed. Starwood Rogue, which I still play time and again. I think it's a great game, but it's very hard for me. Mini Metro is still there. KSP. I do have Medieval Total War installed on this machine, but I've never played it, actually. Probably should. Psychonauts is installed on this machine. I don't really think I want to do a video for that one. I I like it. Like, thanks 100%. I think it was Matt that sent it to me for my birthday last year. So like, it was awesome. Thanks. I'm having a lot of fun playing it. But I don't think that it's like it's something I want to do for the channel really. And then I have Game Dev Tycoon, which I've always meant to do a video on. I just haven't gotten around to it. And that's what's actually installed. I probably have more available in my library that I could install. Oh, hello, there it is. I didn't mean to do that. We'll get that out of the way. Yeah, so there's a whole bunch of other stuff that I could put on there. This War of Mine is possible. There's all the other stuff that Introversion's done, Darwinia, DEF CON, Uplink. So that's all possibilities that could be out there. So we'll consider that. Apparently I have the Prison Architect art book and soundtrack, which is funny because I never hear anything in the game from the soundtrack. I'm intrigued by this. I'll have to look that up and see what's going on because I hardly ever hear any music or anything. But right there it says Prison Architect soundtrack. It's installed as DLC. So why... Version 1.0. Yeah, it's definitely DLC, so why don't I get stuff for that? No idea. We'll figure that one out later, huh? So anyway, I looked at all that stuff and I was like, you know what? I want to play some Prison Architect again. It's been a while. It's a new Steam release. There's been some changes. Let's see what's new. Let's see what's different. And we tried it out. So I'm going to do 2 episodes of that week. We'll do Mondays and Thursdays Prison Architect, which means I got to update the website. I forgot about that. So we're going to do that. I'm going to keep playing City Skylines twice a week on Tuesdays and Saturdays, and of course Binding of Isaac on Wednesdays and Sundays, because that's never going to go away, because I love playing the Binding of Isaac. It is so much fun. Even when I'm frustrated by it, I'm enjoying it. Nero Factorio, actually, I had everything recorded on Saturday for Nero Factorio. I've been done so long for this, I kind of forget what's happened. But it's been a lot of fun, a lot of good things going on. Solaris I finished on Sunday. So I've actually was trying really hard to work ahead this week, and then I kind of dropped the ball during the week. And part of that is because I had a business dinner again on Tuesday, and they run long. It was a good event, though, but it was like 3 hours. So I didn't get home until like 10 o'clock, and by that point I was tired, so I recorded basically just enough to get me through Wednesday. And Wednesday night I recorded everything to get me through Friday, which is good, other than you can see the daily, which obviously I can't do, and the Friday update, which I always wait until right before Friday, or in this case on Friday to do. Anyway, so today, I recorded the daily, I did another episode of Afterbirth, and I did the update. I was going to record both GeoGuessrs and City Skylines, and then decided that, I just wanted to talk to my friends, because I think that's important too, as I've mentioned, for Frog's mental health, because I have been incredibly depressed lately. So it just helps to reconnect with friends. I might have to play Eurovista tonight anyway, actually, after I record this video, because it occurs to me that if I want to post it on Friday, I'm going to be working a long day, I think, tomorrow at work. I've got a major project that has to be done. We'll see. Maybe I'll just try and go in earlier. Well, it seems unlikely, though. It's already after midnight. We'll figure that one out. And then, of course, the dailies are the dailies. So there was no live stream on Tuesday. I was thinking about trying to reschedule it during the week, and just other stuff came up, like tonight, Thursday. My mother-in-law was in town, so we had dinner with her, and I didn't really rush that experience. And then I actually came home and crashed, which is weird. It's just bizarre. My life is kind of strange right now. Like, things are going very well at work. My relationship's good. I mean, my wife loves me, which still amazes me that she married me. And, my health is okay. It's not great. I'm a little overweight. I'm not obese by any means, but, I'm not in fighting trim. That's for sure. Aerobically, I'm great, because I've been a soccer referee for so long that I just, that is fine, but I'm just carrying more weight. So the stress on my joints and my bones is kind of what's doing me in, right? I'm 6'2". That's relatively tall. It's not huge tall, like 6'7" or something would be, but 6'2" is relatively tall, and I'm 275 right now, which if I were a linebacker, I'd be kind of small. But for a normal human, the 275 isn't just where I'd like to be. I'd like to be back down around 230 again, 220, 230. I felt good. And it was more muscle at that point too, which would be great. I don't know why I'm telling you all this, but it's definitely something that weighs into it. And it's interesting. You say, oh well, Frog, you've been depressed lately, and of course when people are depressed they eat. I'm the opposite, actually. So when I get depressed, I tend not to eat. I think the worst it ever got was in college. My roommate in undergraduate actually had a medical condition where he had no appetite. And I'd never heard of that before, and this was long before we were like really researching things on the internet. I mean, because I went to college. I graduated in 2003 with my undergraduate degree. So, I mean, the internet was there, right? I mean, America Online was, 97 is when that first started? 96 maybe? You had Prodigy before that. I was a member of Prodigy. CompuServe, we were on CompuServe as well. I ran a bulletin board system back in the day. That ran from like 94 to 99, I think, was when my bulletin board system, it might have been 93 to 99, I'm not sure. We were at FidoNet. It was awesome. And anyway, so my roommate didn't have an appetite, literally. So I'd have to like sometimes remind him to eat, or he would have to remind himself to eat because he'd never get hungry. So he was 6'2" and like 170 because he was just stick thin because he just didn't eat. And I remember one time that we were in doing something. We played a lot of Diablo 2, and I think that it was one of those sessions when I was like thinking about it, and I was kind of depressed, but I was playing around. I was like, he was talking about how I was eating something. I was like, oh, that's great, because you don't eat on initiative. He's like, yeah, I was thinking about the food, blah 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 blah. And he's like, hey, you know what? I haven't seen you eat in a while because I would take stuff back to the dorm and eat and things. He's like, I was like, no, it hasn't been that long, because I wasn't really sure what time it was. I'm like, I ate, something like on Tuesday or something is fine. And he's like, dude, it's Friday. It's like, wait, what? And thinking back, yeah, it had been like 3 days since I had eaten anything. I had to get something to drink because, I was thirsty. So I was subsisting on the sugar in the soda that I was getting, basically. That was it. And I hadn't really realized it because I was depressed. And that's what happens to me, is that I don't eat. So it was very weird today because I was driving into work and I'm like, you know what? I'm feeling depressed. I know I'm not going to eat lunch at work. So on the way in, I'm going to grab some breakfast sandwiches and some juice, and I'm going to force myself to eat on the way into work. And I won't feel guilty because I'm not taking work time to do it. And it's not like I feel like I'm doing wage stuff, because that's not, believe me, with the amount of hours that I've been working, that's not what I feel at all. But it's one of those things like, if I'm at work, I like to be working. I don't want a half-hour lunch break. I want to be in and out and be done in 8 hours instead of 8.5 hours, or whatever it is, or 16 hours, whatever my insane mind decides to do. So I think that I force myself to eat. Well, then my boss says, hey, do you want to have a working lunch today? Let's go over some stuff before we had a P&L review, and that I play a large part in that for our department. And I said, sure, let's go over that. That's fine. So he essentially forced me to eat then, and then my mother-in-law's in town, so I had to eat at dinner because I can't be insulting but not do that. But after all of that eating that I didn't want to do, like none of it, I was not hungry at all today. Not an ounce. Not when I got up. Not ever. I'm not hungry right now. I'm a little thirsty, though. I was going to get some Verner's other soda is available before I started recording, and I forgot. But anyway, so I was going to drink some stuff today, but I wasn't planning really to eat, because I'm just not in the mood to eat. I'm not hungry. That's just how I get when I'm depressed. And so I ended up eating a lot, which is actually probably really healthy. But yeah, I'm down like 10 pounds in the last couple of weeks just because I'm not eating, which is not good. It's not healthy. It's okay to lose weight so long as you're doing it on purpose, as long as you have some sort of direction to it. If you're just doing it because, you're not eating, that's not good. And I recognize that, and I am working on it, which is why I forced myself to have breakfast today. And then it just kind of spiraled more and more, and I was just like, God, I didn't enjoy any of it. Not 1 ounce did I enjoy any of the eating today. Dinner was good. I mean, it tasted good. Everything tasted good. I just didn't enjoy it. Big fan, by the way, breakfast sandwiches. I love the muffins. Proper muffins, like English muffins, right? With a nice little sausage patty, some egg, cheese. That's good stuff. But I'll have a croissant now and again, a biscuit. I had muffins today, and it's I don't know, it's weird. All right, so it's just life. I'm just not happy, and it might be a chemical imbalance. I don't know. It could be feeling overwhelmed with stress at work. Because I'm gaining more and more responsibility. I'm not really getting compensated more for it, so that kind of breeds some stress into it. We're not happy with where we're living right now. We're actively looking to move at the end of this lease. this is going to sound really bougie, but we're in a luxury apartment complex. It's supposed to be a luxury complex. It calls itself a luxury complex. We're paying over $1,000 for it, which in Ohio is a lot of money. And it's just like, and I know, look, if you're listening to me from San Diego, I get it. $1,000, you're like, oh my God, I have a studio for $1,000. I get it. But in Ohio, a 1,500 square foot flat that claims it's a luxury apartment that one doesn't actually have luxury features in it, I shouldn't be paying what I'm paying. Like, the fair market value of this is probably like $850 to $900. We're paying a little premium because of the zip code, but man. So anyway, we're actively looking. It's supposed to be a luxury apartment, but it's not. Like I said, it's carpeting. It's old carpeting. It's at least 3 years old because we've been in it. It's probably 6 or 7 years old, and it's just starting to get run down. And the kitchen needs to be. It's an old galley kitchen, and it just doesn't have. It's Formica countertops that are beat up. They're old appliances, like from probably I'd say the mid '90s. If not the late 90s, so they're like 20 years old. They work, they're fine, they're functional, it's just old. And we have linoleum in the kitchen and the bathrooms, it's not tile, there's no hardwood anywhere. The faucets and the features are not what I would consider to be great. All of the hardware everywhere is plastic. So I mean, it doesn't feel like a luxury apartment. It claims to be a luxury apartment, but it doesn't. And then some of our neighbors are just... I mean, there's been an SUV sitting across the street with a flat tire for 2 months. And it's never moved. I'm intrigued to see what's going to happen, actually, because they're redoing our street. They're actually ripping it out completely, going all the way down and pouring 4 inches of new asphalt, and they're doing it to all the driveways also. So no matter what happens, either they're going to move it or it's going to get towed. So either way, the eyesore will be gone, which is happy because I'm sick of walking out of my garage every morning and seeing that trash. Like, fix your car. Like, I get it, money could be tight, but there are cheaper places around here. Like I said, the fair market value for what I'm in right now without any luxury features would be about $900, which is cheaper than what people are paying to live in our condo. At least it better be, because if they're starting to pay that kind of rate, I want that rate. So we're looking to move, and anytime you move, it's a stressful situation, right? Because you've accumulated objects, and I need to go through the objects, and I feel overwhelmed by that, and so it just leads to the depression issues. My wife loves me, which is amazing. I should hearken on to that. I've got really good friends. I've got a good friendship network down here. It's just some days, it just happens, and depression happens. It's an illness, and if you are depressed, do not feel bad about it. Like, I understand completely. I've been thinking, and this is nothing that my wife hasn't heard, although for some of my friends this might be a shock, because I don't really talk about it unless we're really close. So of course I'm telling the internet that, I've been fighting back bad thoughts for days, weeks actually, and I will continue to be successful because that is who I am, but they're there. Like, at one point, this is getting really deep. This is going to be another 30-minute video, but you know what? That's the life. That's how it works. To be really deep about it, at one point, I really was going to commit suicide, like 100%. And I don't know if I've talked about this before. I've been doing this for a year, right? So I don't know, but a friend of mine happened to log on right as I'm seriously considering it, and just started talking. And just talking. And honestly, she saved my life. And at the time, she didn't know it. And she does now, because we've talked about it in the past. And I'm internally grateful for that. She's actually one of my oldest friends. I don't keep friends very well. And actually, all of my oldest friends are female, now that I think about it, with the exception of one. My essentially brother, who's not my brother, but... we've known each other since we were 3, so it's over 30 years now that we've known each other. It's my longest, it actually is the longest relationship period, like, out of anyone aside from my parents. Like, he's older than my sister, so, like, we've known each other for a very long time. But most of the rest are female, which is very strange. I never really thought about that. That's a topic for another time. But anyway, so, and I'd read somewhere once that once you've committed to doing that, to ending your life, even if you don't, right? Even if you eventually decide for whatever reason that you're not going to. So in this case, it was a timely intervention. It's always an option. And that has been true throughout my entire life. Like, that was 15 years ago now that I thought it was it. I was done. Like, why bother, right? And not all the time, but frequently enough over the last 15 years, that always comes up as an option. And you always have to fight it. And if you're fighting it, if you've been there, if you understand, let me tell you, you are not alone in this. There are more people out there. We are not the only two. There are a ton of people that have experienced this, and do not worry about it. Definitely call the suicide prevention hotlines. In the United States, it's 1-800-SUICIDE, which I think is a little twisted, but it's easy to remember. So, give that a ring. They will talk to you 24 hours a day, whenever you need. They're there to listen, they're there to talk, and they will help. And it's an incredibly valuable service. So, the last few weeks, for whatever reason, have been really tough. And I think it's turning around, but it comes in waves. And I'm just trying to ride the wave. So, consider, I touched on this a little bit last week. Like, this is my productivity without the manic part of my manic depression. So figure that one out. All right. And it's just what it is. Wow. I mean, that got really deep. So, thank you for listening to it, if nothing else. And I may end up talking about it again next week. Hopefully not with the same stories. But, it's just, it's life, and you gotta keep pushing on. You gotta keep going forward. And again, I thank everyone that's involved. I have a great friend network here. I have a really great wife who's so supporting. My family is amazing. My friends here that watch this, like, I don't know if George is watching this, but he watches a lot of my stuff. Thank you for that. I know Bear watches some stuff. Wade might be watching any of this. I don't know, but all you guys out there, thanks for just being a friend, right? I don't need your sympathy. I don't need your like, oh, Brian, but no, I don't need any of that. Oh, yeah, but I don't need any sort of whatever. I'm just good. Yeah, cat's out of the bag. It's like the worst kept secret on the internet. That's my actual real name. Surprise. So it's just, I'm just grateful. Period. So yeah, let's pick it up a little bit. Let's talk about positive news. Next week, right? We've got a lot of things going on next week. Some really cool things. We are going to live stream. I got the double question mark because hell if I know. I have nothing planned on Tuesday, but the last 2 Tuesdays have been ridiculous, so maybe it won't happen, but I'm planning on it. It should still be there. Tuesday at 8 o'clock, we're going to continue to live stream. GeoGuessr is going to go as it is. We're going to keep doing Prison Architect, City Skyline, Binding of Isaac, and the Potpourri Hour, Narrow Factorial Stellaris, and the Binding of Isaac Daily. All of that stuff's going to keep going on, and it's just it's gonna be more fun. Now, one thing that I do have to put down, I will be out of town. Out of town wedding. Is there a hotkey to merge these in Google Docs? Probably not. Let's click the button. So I'm going to be out of town for a wedding for these 2 days. This evening into this evening. So what I'm going to try and do is actually take some time off of work because, I've been working a lot. So I think I'll be able to take this day off. And if I do, or even if nothing else, I'll just work a little bit in the morning and I'll record. My wife has to work still. So we're not going to leave for this out-of-town wedding until like 2 in the afternoon, something like that. So in the morning, I'll try and record. But it does mean it's cutting significantly into my recording time. So it shouldn't affect this week because this weekend we're home. But it might affect the following week. So just want to make you aware of that my wife is in a wedding. So we're going to be out of town. That next week might see a little bump in the road. And what it will mean, though, 100%, actually, I could do this right now, that daily probably won't be there. So this will actually be daily 48, and then I'm going to be confused as hell. I think what I have to do is I have to not do that. I have to leave it there because this is the only way. I don't know why I decided to actually number the dailies instead of just putting the date on the thumbnail, but I did. So now I'm kind of committed, and now I figured it out. It has to be a power of 7 for me to be able to mod 7 this in my mind to get the right one of these for the right day. So I don't think I want to change that. But I really don't believe I'll be able to record this daily. We'll see. I mean, we'll keep it up there. Maybe that's like the one I'll be able to record. Actually, no, it would be this daily because it's the Saturday. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get the Saturday one because we're going to be home late. So we'll have to see. I guess they refresh at 6 in the morning. You could just see a really incredibly tired Frog playing Binding of Isaac on Sunday. That's a possibility. But that's the schedule as I planned it. 5 videos a day. It's a lot as a part-timer. I kind of consider Aruma does 8. He does 8 videos a day as a full-timer. Quill does 3. But Quill also has another channel. Mathis does 3. Northern Lion does 3. I think it's just a different thing. And I'm not saying that I'm somehow better than them. That's not what I mean at all. And they're not. That's not what I mean. It's a different type of productivity. So, I don't have the same level of viewers and subscribers and stuff that they have to keep up with. So I'm not doing stuff outside the videos. I'd imagine as I become more popular, I probably will have to cut this down to 4 videos a day until I go, full time with this, which maybe never, because my 9 to 5 is a pretty lucrative 9 to 5. We'll have to see. Oh, one thing though. I mean, we are talking about subscribers. Here we are 26 minutes into the video. I should have probably led with this. But we are getting close to 500 subscribers. Very, very close. We were at 497 yesterday. We're 496 today, which is kind of depressing. Although it is the first day that we've had negative subscriber growth in the year. So like this whole year has either been 0 or positive subscriber growth every day. So I'm kind of happy that this is the first time in 5 months that it's gone down. I'm not happy it's gone down. I just mean that that's the only time in 5 months that it's gone down. Net. I mean, I've lost some subscribers along the way, but we've gained more on the particular days that we lose them. And so when we get to 500, I think that's a cool thing. So hopefully Tuesday's live stream this week, we'll be able to celebrate 500 subscribers. That'd be kind of cool. I'm considering maybe doing a face cam reveal like for 500. I don't know. Maybe I should save that for 1,000. Let me know. I mean, nobody's still watching this at 27 minutes, but maybe you are. I don't know what kind of time you're willing to commit to me. If you're willing to commit 27 minutes, then I love you. And you can take that to the bank. But we're done. So much for it's. Hey, you know what? I guaranteed. I said though I didn't want to do another 30-minute update, and it's not. It's only going to be 28 minutes. So we're gonna get it out here. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, mental health to me is a very important thing. So you definitely keep that in mind. Pun. And we'll go from there. Just as a sneak peek, I'm going to set up a Patreon here at some point in the next few weeks, so we'll probably talk about that next week. But keep it in the back of your mind if you're thinking, I'd love to throw Frog $1 a month. It would certainly help a whole bunch. So that's all I have for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, click the like button. Definitely please subscribe to the channel. Send it around. Share it around. Be the person that creates that 500 subscriber, and I will love you forever. Until next time, cheers.